I'm Barb Palumbo, and we are presently on my balcony, one of my favorite places in the world right now. I came to the West Side, I'm originally from the East Side, and came to the West Side because my family, my daughter and grandchildren, are in Parma Heights. And so I came over here, started to look around, and ended up here on the West Side. But I've been an East Sider since my husband and I got out of the Army. He was an East Sider. I'm presently a in-between person, actually, but love it here. I've traveled for a long, long time with my husband all over in the military, from Germany to Panama to all over, so I'm now in my forever home. And that's what I was looking for when I finally started looking. Independent living was a forever home that I knew this is where I was going to settle myself down and finish my life in. So I started looking for a place when my husband had been gone, passed away for 10 years. And I lived all alone in a big old house and had retired from early childhood. I was an early childhood teacher and then a director at a famous preschool, actually, in Shaker Heights. And we have a resident garden here that I have 3 big plots, and that was another big draw, was that I could bring flowers from home. I actually dug up many of my own flowers from my garden at home, including some of my mother's flowers that I'd had in my old house, and they're here too. So I brought a lot from home here, not just furniture, but things that really mattered to me. When I first decided that this is where I wanted to come, after I checked off all my lists and thought that this was probably what I really would like, I made an appointment and came to visit. And you hear it all the time here, but it is the honest truth. You pull in the driveway and you fall in love. Our grounds are absolutely fantastic. We have 30 acres of flowers and trees and deer, if you watch, and groundhogs and fox and birds. Oh, we have red-winged blackbirds and frogs that make noises in the middle of the night and you don't even know what they are until you check it out. And it's just, I fell in love. And when I came in and looked around the whole building, I fell in love with just the whole feel of it. There's just a feeling of home. And people would stop and say hello when I was shown around. And then this apartment that I have right now was empty, not ready to go or anything, but just empty. And I walked into it and took a look at the balcony, stood out here, looked out my bedroom window at the pond, and turned around and said, when can I have it? And it was a 4-month wait, and I waited 4 months for it. And until it got renovated, because someone had lived here for a long time. The cabinets were white painted and had to be redone, and now I have all kinds of new appliances, new cabinets, new countertops, new everything. It's all totally renovated. And but I waited. But in the process of waiting, I brought my kids in and my daughters and they absolutely fell in love with it. And my little 8-year-old granddaughter came into the bedroom, and there's a marble windowsill, and she sat on the marble windowsill, looked out at the window and said, Nana, this is the best place, because she could see the pond and all of that. And she comes now to visit me when we don't have COVID, obviously, but she comes to visit me. I have beautiful pictures of she and I sitting out here having dinner together on the little table, and this is one of our favorite places to sit and be together when she comes to visit. But when I first got here, getting to know people was really easy because we have breakfast as part of our everyday. So we go downstairs and you meet people and get your breakfast, and a little different right now, but normally you sit down and you can find a place to sit with somebody or a whole group of people, and the next thing you know, someone's been the same place you have, lives the same place you have, wants to know all about you, and you've made friends. And let's meet for dinner, or let's go for a walk, or you want to sit outside by the fire pit or whatever. So breakfast is my biggest recommendations. Don't ever skip breakfast, even if all you have is a glass of orange juice, because it's the place to meet people. I met some of my absolutely best friends here at breakfast. Two of them are gone now, and still have absolutely wonderful memories. I also got my best job at breakfast. I met Ruth Thurber at breakfast, and Ruth was in charge of our library for years and years and years. It's now actually named the Thurber Library after her. And I just casually looked at her and said, well, if you need any help at the library, just let me know. And the next day I heard I was the librarian. And I went, wait. And we sorted it all out, and I was the assistant librarian. And have now become the librarian. Ruth has retired at 100 and almost 102. And, but that's one of my favorite, best jobs here. And it's kind of a job, but kind of an absolute joy to be in charge of our absolutely beautiful 2-room library. We have one room that is all fiction and one room that is full of nonfiction books. And it's all donations, and then Rocky River brings us books. So if you're a reader, absolutely it's a great place to be, in a book club that we have, so that you can keep up on the latest that's going on with books. And so it keeps going all the time. I would recommend that they at least start looking, and not to put that off. Make a decision about if you're going to do it, then start looking, because it takes a while to get all of the pieces and parts together, and you may think you're really not ready, and then boy, once it starts rolling, you're like, oh yeah, oh yes, great, I don't have to think about the hot water tank anymore. And so that's the first thing, is look. Just look around and come and take a tour and stop and talk to people. People always come into the library and I get a chance to say hi, or they'll stop while we're having lunch or something and we get to say hi, and just take a look around. But make your list of what you're really looking for. What in your home has really mattered so much to you, like my garden and the outdoor access in my balcony, that is so important, near a church, or the being by the lake, or whatever you are really truly looking for. The exercise room, you don't have to go anywhere for exercise here. There's so many things here. We have a pub. There's so many things here. So you need to make a list of what's important to you, and then come and look. And then you can always get on the wait list and wait 6 months. There's not as if you have to, they're going to say, oh, well, if you don't take it right now, it's just come look. This is the resident garden, and this is one of mine. I have 3 that I share with one of my good friends, Lori. And this is my pride and joy, though it looks really crazy. I started a sweet potato inside that had gotten some eyes, and stuck it in the ground, and now it has totally run away with itself. No sweet potatoes, but just pretty. Not the kind of sweet potato vine you normally grow in the ground. But I have a lot of perennials, but then we also put in some zinnias and marigolds for cutting, and I like to cut flowers and excuse me, take them in and give them away to the front desk and other people who don't have a garden for themselves. So this is one, this is ours, although the tomato plants have bit the dust, as the saying goes. And this one's mine too, and the echinacea coneflowers came from my house, and brought, as I said, a lot from my house. The chives are from my house. The lily of the valley were my mother's from way, way back when I was a little girl, and then I took them to my house, and now they're here. And I think someday my kids, grandkids, will take them to their house, but this is a nice place for them to be. And the rest of the garden, I think we have about 25 people that work out here in the garden. And if they need help, we all take turns sharing. We water if someone else can't get out and water or pick or whatever. It's a combined project for everybody. I worked at a nursery school for 33 years, and when I retired, all the different classes made me a stepping stone. And since I can't step up here, I've added a stepping stone to all the different spaces in my garden.